This episode of Nerdist News is brought to you by the all-new season of FX's What We Do in the Shadows. Here's why getting a PlayStation 5 will be harder than you think. 2020 was shaping up to be a banner year for gamers because this holiday season we were going to be blessed by not just one, but two brand new consoles, Microsoft's Xbox Series X and Sony's PlayStation 5. And while we've started to get a bit of a promotional push from Xbox so far, even a trailer showing off this new Halo-playing mini-fridge, when it comes to the PlayStation 5, we haven't seen that much yet. Apart from that weird live stream lecture that was all about solid-state drives and some new photos of the DualSense PS5 controller that looks like it's doing cosplay of Eva from WALL-E. Apart from that, not too much. It's been about it. Sadly, while we wait for a list of complete technical specs or a list of games that are going to be coming out at launch, we have even worse news. Getting a PlayStation 5 this year is about to become harder than getting a roll of toilet paper at your local grocery store. And yeah, getting a console at launch has always been a difficult proposition, but it turns out this year might be even more challenging than usual, and not for the reasons you might be expecting. Because you might be thinking, duh, COVID-19. Well, there's more to it than that, and we're going to break down exactly what and why. According to a report from Bloomberg News, Sony is planning to produce significantly fewer PlayStation 5 units than it did in previous console generations at launch. People involved in the supply chain for production of the console say there are plans to produce only 5 to 6 million consoles in the fiscal year that ends in March 2021. Now, this number stands in stark contrast to the 7.5 million PlayStation 4 units built during the same time frame when the PS4 dropped in 2013. And no, as we mentioned, this has nothing to do with the COVID-19 pandemic at the moment. While coronavirus has certainly impacted promotional and marketing plans for the console, it has yet to impact the actual production itself. However, that could all change further down the line. Now, reportedly, the real reason that Sony's going to be making fewer PS5 units this year is due to the ambitious specs for the new console. It's led to higher demand for the parts that they need, which has led to shortages, and that leads to a higher price point for production itself. While no official price for the console has been announced thus far, industry insiders expect it to fall between $499 and $550, and that's with Sony taking a loss on each console sold, or breaking even at best. Now, this isn't entirely uncommon for a console at the beginning of its life cycle. Until the price per unit evens out, companies usually try to get consoles into players' hands and make up that monetary loss through things like additional services and products like extra controllers, or games, or a subscription to PSN. However, high price points could scare off many gamers during a period of economic uncertainty like this, and one of the reasons the PlayStation 4 effectively won the last console war is because it came in about $100 cheaper than the Xbox One at launch. So it's natural to see why Sony could be a little bit concerned about gamers perceiving their new console as being out of their price range. For now, it feels like a bit of a waiting game because it's an ever-changing landscape out there, and while neither console's production has been affected just yet, there could always be new developments for both the release or the production of PS5 or the Xbox Series X on the horizon. In the meantime, we're going to wait on official word from Sony, and we'll continue to report on this story as it develops. But in the meantime, tell me, what do you folks think? Would you buy a brand new console for $550? Which one do you want to get? The Xbox Series X, the PS5, both? And are there games that are make or breaks for picking a new console? Let's discuss. Thanks again to our sponsor, What We Do in the Shadows, now streaming on FX on Hulu. The Hollywood Reporter called the series' first season ridiculously funny and warned that you'll die laughing. For Season 2, the hilarious FX original comedy continues to follow our 4 favorite vampires who have been living together for hundreds of years, including an energy vampire, we all know one, am I right? And special guest appearances from Nick Kroll and Craig Robinson. What We Do in the Shadows is now streaming on FX on Hulu. All new episodes Wednesdays at 10 on FX.